Hi, I'm Bree, and you're watching Oliver's Barefoot Hoof Journey Part 9. And I'm super excited. Today, we're going to be pulling off these really ugly glue-ons that I did about 5 weeks ago. Long story short, I hurt myself trimming a client horse, and I was only able to do the bare minimum for all of my horses, Oliver included. So this application is just terrible. Like, I just threw the shoes on and I glued them. I didn't do anything extra, which you'll see in the video. What I do to make them look really nice at the end of a trim cycle. But for now, they were okay. They did fine. I am super excited because I'm going to be using a new type of shoe, which is these EasyShoe Ones. They have a different density material in the middle of the foot, which I'm super excited for Oliver. I think he'll really like them. So I have to start out with grinding a new breakover into these shoes. They have sort of a tall toe area, so I usually just grind them down on all of the shoes that I do. But especially for Oliver, it's really important not to let his breakover be too far forward because his toes will get really long. So what I'm doing is basically rolling the bottom of the shoe like I would the hoof in a bare hoof, and I think they turned out really good. I was super proud of the work that I did with the grinder. It takes a really long time. Like, this is like a 5-minute video cut down into, I don't know, 30 seconds or whatever, but it's super worth it to help Oliver. So of course we have to start off with pulling the old shoes off. This is actually my favorite part of the whole application, aside from when they're completely finished. Like, the new set is completely finished and I'm all done. But yeah, I just find this super satisfying to peel off the glue in the cuffs of the shoe. And it's kind of hard to see, but on this medial side, my application was terrible. So there was actually moisture getting in between the shoe and the foot. So I'm honestly surprised it stayed on. I'm actually super grateful it stayed on because he would have been super tender, but it was just an overall really, really terrible application. So don't judge my work based off of this shoeing job. Just wait till the end of the video. Okay. What? Just him sleeping? One of my concerns with putting the glue-ons on Oliver was the fungus and bacteria that can breed underneath the shoes, but I was honestly pleasantly surprised. They seemed pretty clean underneath. I think part of that is because we did move the panels, so they're not living in a super mucky mess anymore. It's like more rocky, so they've been able to stay cleaner. But this time I'm definitely going to put some stuff on the bottom that keeps it from getting super nasty in there, especially because the ones have an enclosed sole and the last shoes that they had on have an opening in the sole. So just basically touching up his feet. I am doing a pretty aggressive trim just because I'm trying to stay ahead of any distortions in the foot, and I also want to make sure that I'm like really making them better instead of making them worse, because what I've found with the glue-ons is sometimes if you leave them on for a really long period of time or you don't correct something, because the horse can't get any wear on their feet on the bottoms, they actually get worse during the cycle. So that's the opposite of what we want. We want his feet to improve. So I'm trying to do my best to bring his feet to balance before I put the shoes on, and even maybe take him down a little bit further than I would with a barefoot, just to make sure we're really mitigating any of these issues before they actually happen. I did notice too, like, he grew a lot more sole underneath, but when I was picking them out, sometimes the sole would fall out, like in the versus. So I'm excited for this new set of shoes to have an or not have an opening on the bottom, because that might help all of that sole stay in there and help him to grow and develop a really thick foot. I would really like for him to be completely barefoot, but we will see. If he has to stay in the glue-ons for a while, that's totally fine. I really liked the fit of these ones compared to the previous shoes that we used as well. I just felt like they were like better for his foot shape, because yeah, like with shoeing, we want to make sure the shoe fits the foot, not the other way around. We're not trying to make the foot fit into shoes that don't work for the horse, you know? And I have also noticed that he's had a lot of bruising. I think it's just from long-term imbalances. And even in his sole on this one, he had some bruising, I think, from the other shoe. So hopefully these will be a better fit for him. And he's such a saint. He was so sleepy the entire time. Like, look at how cute he is. I can't. He just loves getting his feet done. I think it's so cute. And there we have the trim, not the finished trim, because I did go back and fix things as I was fitting the shoes, but they're looking a lot straighter than they used to. Bless you. Right, and next is mixing up the dental impression material, or the DIM. This is what provides support to the back of the foot. I'd use extra soft this time. It actually didn't want to set up at all, which was kind of nice, so I could just leave it there before I did the application. But we want to make sure the hoof is really clean, and I like to put some antimicrobial hoof clay on there. Look at that nice soft dim just in the back of the foot, basically just filling up the frog and kind of like in between the heels and the frog, the collateral grooves, just to give him that extra support back there. And that's so satisfying watching all of the dim and the Artemud squish out in the back. And this time I also used a different glue. Last time I used Adhere, which is black, but this one is Superfast. So I'm actually really excited because it matches his foot so well. Like at the end, it almost looks invisible, which is nice. Like, it's hard convincing people sometimes to do the glue-ons just because they are so bulky, and it's like, oh, it looks like something is there. Like, it looks unnatural. But I feel like this looks really nice, and it's super beneficial. Like, I prefer this over putting nails in my horse's foot personally. And here's how I make it look super nice at the end. If you smooth it out, which sometimes this glue sets up too fast, so luckily it was a cooler day out. If you smooth it out and then cover it with the plastic wrap, it gives it a really, really nice finish. So it's not quite so lumpy like my old application was. And here I decided, since the dim wasn't setting up yet, that I would just seal the back of the hoof with it. It's already fallen out. I'm recording or editing the recording just a few days later, and on one of the hooves it's like completely gone, which is totally fine. It doesn't matter. It was just leftover material that had squished out the back of the foot. I thought I would try something and it didn't work, which is fine. And now I'm going to take the grinder and just smooth out all of the lumps in the glue, anything left over from the application, as well as roll his toe to give him a better breakover, because the last thing I want is to make his toe any longer than it already is. Like, we want that breakover nice and short to keep him from tripping or grabbing his toe, especially on his left front, which he tends to do. So we just don't want to add any more extra leverage. These shoes are really tall, so what happens is the foot basically stretches out and forward if you don't modify the breakover, which is the opposite of what we want. So I'm really being diligent about getting it back. He the little shavings were hitting his other leg with the grinder, so I had to finish it with the rasp. But he was such a good sport about it overall. I found a little hole when I was grinding them that I missed on the glue. Actually, editing the video, I saw it more than I saw it in person. But I just want to make sure that I fill in any gaps or cracks or whatever, because the more moisture and debris that get in there, the more likely you are to have a glue failure, and I do not want to put them on again in a week. And here's what they look like from afar. They're pretty much invisible, honestly. Like, I think they turned out really, really pretty. I'm super excited. And he was standing kind of funky right here. I promise he was more comfortable. He's just standing like super strange. I think it's because he was hungry. He's like, hello, feed me. Like, it's past my dinner time or supplement time, you know? But of course, I had to go out and take him for a little walk just to check out our work and see what was happening. He was trying to eat the grass the whole time, so it wasn't like a super good video. But I really feel like it helped improve his stride length up front a lot compared to before with the other shoes. Um, and he seems really comfortable. Like, in the pasture this morning, a few days later, he was running around and bucking and farting and trotting really pretty. So we have gotten a lot of rain, so I wasn't able to get any more footage of him moving, unfortunately. But they stayed on. Like, it doesn't seem like any debris got in. The extra glue I added stayed on, so I'm super glad. I can't wait to see how these. I'm looking forward to see how these will be in the next 4 or 5 weeks. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all next week.